Thigh is called pluck, and people call it pluck or pull down, so they think it's like this. Not really. Thigh is like a wind, it's gathering. You think of a wind coming along and sort of gathering the dust up. Thigh is in step up and raise hands and pull down. The pull down is not pulling down, it's the drawing the person out of their center. It's the gathering them out of the root. So when I do, if you face me this way. So from here, if I do thigh here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, like this, dip down, and then come up again. Right, so I go down and then up. So from here, I go in and then relax. There. Imagine you're pushing down on Jello, and then your hands come up again. That's thigh. There's this gathering. You're drawing the energy up. Or think of it as a whirlwind. Sucking the energy up. Thigh can be like this, where I just pull you out of your center, like that. So I use this to pull you out of your root, out of your balance. I can also do it by doing this, right? Which is not, but I can do this. Okay? So here the energy goes down, I reach down into your spine, into your feet, like that, and then I pour the energy back down into my back. He moves when I stop pushing down. So you watch him. As I go down into his feet like this, I reach down into his feet, go into his heels, right? And then I stop going down into his heels. He bounces out. Right? So I go down and like this. So what I do is I make an energetic connection from the dantian in my core, and I go down through his spine, and I make that energetic connection into his balance, and I go into his structure, into his balance, into his root. And I go down like this into the ground, and then that energy, I let it come up out of his feet, up out through my fingers, out, down into my back, and down into the ground. Okay? Mm-hmm. Feels weird, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. Okay? Because, and when you do it, when you try to do it, when you try to affect it, what happens is people go down and they try to lift up. They try to somehow get underneath and pull and push the other person in there. It's not like that. It's like a siphon. It's like that, not like that. Right? It's like, imagine you're drinking a milkshake through a straw, and you get there and you go, and you blow down, and then you try to blow up from the bottom. Right? No, it's like that. So you inhale not by reaching down and grabbing and pulling him up, but by drawing air into your lungs. That's what causes the suction through the straw. So you go down into the ground, and now what I do is not thinking about pulling him up out of the ground. What I do instead is take the energy that is in my fingers and I pour it up my arm and down into my back and down into my feet. And you have to let go and watch to see what happens. People try to make it happen. You try to make him come up like that, and of course as soon as you do that, it stops. You have to basically go down there and then abandon him. Forget all about him for a moment and let the energy go down into your feet. And then he comes up.
Yeah, a lot more come up.
Yeah. But if I try to go out there and affect it externally, it's not going to work. So I go down into his feet, and then I go down into my feet. I don't come up out of his feet. Okay? I go down into his feet, and then I go down into my feet. Okay? And now he's uprooted. So he's solid, so relaxed, he's connected to the ground. I push like this, back, he's not going anywhere. Oh, here he is. There, so up there, so solid, there we go. Don't let me push him. There, don't let me pull, don't let me push me. And I go down, up, oh. Okay? Yep. So all of this trying to push him, right? Trying to pull him, trying to push him, trying to move him, and then I just go, oh. Like that.
Yeah.
This is just,
and it feels like nothing.
Yeah, and it is nothing. Okay. Right? And it's all of that effort that you put into it is just, you're blowing yourself out of the water. Right? So from here, like I try to push you, I try to get underneath, I try to uproot, right? And you're just freaking around to get into the ground. Like that's not okay, but if I go, oh. Can't believe it.
Like nothing touches you.
And it's not like I'm changing vectors, it's not like I'm going over there or anything, I'm just going like that. So from here, and you know I'm going to do it now.
Yeah.
Okay, so don't let me do it. Use both hands, grab what's ready to get in, do whatever you can. Right, so I go in like this, I try to move, oh. Okay,
It's completely nowhere.
yeah. And these are this is Zai. This is plucking, rending, gathering. That's what this is. Right? So from here, I'm trying to get in, it's not working, force. Up. Right? And that's how, it doesn't take anything, right? It's just structure. That. It's a thought, it's an idea. So from here, if I push, that's it, open up your back, keep grappling. There we go, so we're in this mode. Right? In and out, up, gotcha. Into the feet, up. One more time. So from here, there I go, oh.
And the less you do, the more you go.
Exactly, the less you do. The hardest thing about this is not doing what you think you should be doing. Right? You'll mess yourself up as soon as you think that it's down, then up, and then push. If you think it's that, it's not right. It's more like it's the effort needed to prepare to draw out of a straw. You know, to drink a milkshake. The effort that you need to start that. Yeah. It's the exhalation that is required before you inhale through a straw. It's nothing. Right? And I'm fighting, and if I try to push down and pull up, push and pull, bounce them like that, it's not going to work. But if I go in and then relax. Every time.
I want to know what the guard for that. What do you do to fight it?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah is sideways, rending. Right? So it's this. Like that. Okay? So if you push me like this, and you're solid this way, and you're really powerful this way, and I can't push you this way, or I try to pull, don't let me pull. Right? So you've got a solid structure this way. You okay?
Yeah.
Did I pull muscle?
No, all right.
Okay. So from here, so you're lined up like this. So this way doesn't work, right? And he's pushing me this way, so I go like that. Okay. So the vectors are this way. There's nothing this way. The plane can be right on target. It's headed right for the airport, but there's a 5 km/h wind going that way. Right? So over the course of a half hour, you're 5 kilometers away from the airport. Right? You may have gone as far as you wanted, but the vector is just not right. So from here, if you push like this, solid. So this is solid. There we go. Now you're putting some pung in it. Right?
Yes.
So you take away from some of the forward and you put some round in it.
That's what I did.
Right? So now, there. That's defending against that. So what I can do to make this weaker is go like this.
You just did the same thing?
I just did the same thing. Right? So from here, he's round, he's protecting against the side. So what I do is I go into his feet and then back up out. So really what we're trying to teach you is how to use yay for defense instead. I taught you how to do yay for an attack. But so from here, let's go back to using it as a counter. So I do stop there. You're uprooted. Okay? So you're up out of the ground, and I've done it in this vector this way. Okay. So now as I do this, try to take me sideways. There. Okay. So rend. That's one. The other is Joe. So you can use elbow against it. So from here, I go in and up, and I'm up like this. That's it, so you fold. Right? So if you do this to me, right, go down to the ground, push the jello, and then go back down your back. Now you're pushing me. Remember, it's not about me, it's about you. Right? It starts out about me, so you go down into my feet. Right? Now forget about me and just go into the ground. There, now I'm uprooted. See that? No, you're sticking to me too much.
Okay.
Right? You're trying to control. You know, oh, I've got him uprooted, but I better. You know, I have to have some pressure so I know where he is. No, you don't. You don't have to have pressure to know where I am. You just have to have. No, that's too much pressure.
Whoa.
Okay. So go down, then let go of me. Let me go. There you go. Now I'm uprooted, and you can go like this, and you just sort of let it settle into the ground. So now I'm uprooted. I'm up out of the ground, and now if you from here, this in itself is a victory for you because I am no longer connected to the ground. I've lost that root, and you can push me this way very easily. Yeah, and you can push me that way too. You can do all kinds of things. Right? So the fact that you have done this means that I've lost. Okay. So if I go like this, and then you're up over there, then there is the thought of how do you defend against that if that has happened? Well, the answer is get your balance back and can reconnect to the ground. And in order to do that, if you're uprooted and the other person's attacking, then often sideways means. Okay, the same way that sideways works, if you punch me, sideways works. Okay, I just get out of the way and go for your center. So that's what happens if I'm losing. Right? And if you're punching me, I'm losing. Whether you hit me or not, it doesn't matter. If you're punching me, that's losing. Right? And we often, most martial arts teach you what to do when you're losing. Because the option is to start by winning. Which, you know, so if you punch me, that's how I win. Right? I don't let you punch me.
Yeah.
If you are actually punching me, then you have an advantage. Right? So there's no victory for me if you are punching. Just like there is no victory for you if I have just done side. If you're uprooted already, you are not winning.
Right.
So the two questions. One is, how do you keep from losing? And the other is, what do you do when you're losing? So what to do when you're losing, which is usually the easiest thing to teach. This is why most martial arts, most schools, most classes teach it. Even the ones that say that we teach you how to win first, or really they spend a lot of time teaching you what to do when you're losing. But, because it's easier and more interesting. So, the first thing to do is to feel when this is happening, and to go down with it, and take me down. So you go down first, there, like that. Now if I let go, like that. So you have to defeat me. You have to defeat this part of the time. You have to get, and it's, don't wait until after it's a dishwashing liquid. Is it mild? You know, instead, you don't let the person get that. So light and sensitive that a fly landing on you will set you in motion. So if you put your hand on my arm, put your hand on my arm. Okay. You can't do it. You shouldn't be able to put it on my arm. There should be no pressure. Okay. So if I'm doing this, and this is because it's an attack on the very thing that you are trying to reinforce all the time. You're trying constantly to reinforce your balance, your root, make yourself solid and strong. So what Thai does is it takes advantage of the fact that you're trying to remain upright.
Okay.
By going, and here, you're trying to get all of the weight and all of the energy to go straight down into the ground, through your body, through your alignment. And so Thai says, well, let me help you with that. Let's take all that energy. Let's go right down into the ground. Let's go right down into the ground. Let's help you support yourself. Let's help you realign yourself with the ground. It's very different from doing this, where I'm trying to push your center of gravity off your base of support. Instead, what I'm doing is I'm trying to help you line up your center of gravity with your base of support, and I go right into your feet, and I go there, like that. Oh. And so you've had that help, and you go, what? Whoa. Yeah. So You know, it's giving somebody too much help, basically. And so when I do that, you want to feel that happening, and any pressure from the outside then is something to neutralize.
Okay.
Okay? Any pressure, whether it helps you or not. And this is this is really important because this happens all the time in punching, grappling, whenever you get into mid-range, people get into here, and what they do, right, if you grab and you try to move me, is I brace against you, so that when you pull on my arm, you're actually pushing me into the ground. And I'll redirect the vectors. Right? So if you push me, I connect to the ground, so your push is helping me go into the ground.
Right.
Right? This is brilliant. Look how clever I am. I'm using your force to make me more stable.
Yeah.
That's great, unless you go right back into your feet again. No. See how this pressure is going into the ground?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now think of that energy coming right up out of my body, right up your arm, right down your back, and do that sigh. No, don't push. Go right back. Go away. There.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So do this. All right. So you're pushing, and I go, oh, I'm so good.
Okay.
So when I use your pressure to brace myself,
Right.
I'm double weighted, I'm double heavy, I'm bracing against you. And if you release that and you let it go, then I'm no longer double weighted. So you're not double weighted. I am still. Okay? So from here, I'm using force to hold myself up.
Right.
You let go one side.
One side.
Yeah. So from here, I hold myself like that. So from here, I'm using force to hold. Well, so are you. Okay.
Yeah.
So you can let go one side, and I'll be compromised. Right? Again, I let go one side, and you're compromised.
Right.
Right? I let go one side, and you're off balance. So this is letting go one side. Right? There's the side underneath your feet, and there's the side above your feet, like that, and I let go one side, and you bounce.
Okay.
So that can happen this way, it can happen this way, it can happen all kinds of directions. Right? I can do it like this, or if you're pushing me out of the ground and I go into the ground, that's side, that's gathering. Right, take this and you just draw it in. So you can defend against that by, if I go down, you go sideways. Okay. So you rend, as I push down, you turn, and you're moving at right angles to my pressure. Okay. So I push this way, and if you try to go backwards or roll or turn, it's not going to do anything. Okay? Because this is, you can pivot around this point to this point, and I'm still going to be going straight into the ground, and I can still uproot. So I can go like that.
Yeah.
But if I do this and you neutralize by turning sideways and rending me, taking me off to the side. So I have this pressure, whatever vector it is, if it's going down like that,
Yeah.
just about anything lateral is right angles to
Spin
it.
it.
Yeah, anything lateral is at right angles to down. So that's your neutralization for this. So as I go down, you go sideways.
Okay.
And whether you do it with the hand right here, or you do it with a short axis right close to there. So I push down and you go sideways. Like that.
Yeah.
So you're taking this, and it goes from here to here, and this is strong, this is not, so this doesn't affect you as much. This cannot help you stay balanced as much as this can.
Right.
So when I take this away, you're not losing anything.
Right.
So, 2 ways to win. Don't lose in the first place, and stop losing when you're losing. Wiggle. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Wiggle.
Okay.
Yep.
So, side.
Fine.
Yeah. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Groovy.
Just gotta do it.
You're down.
That's
That's
the way
it.
I did it.
That's it. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad. Now think about going up and out through your arms and down through the fingers. And go down to the ground like that. So you're extending the power like that. Down. Let it. And now let it go. Let go. Release me and just let the energy pour back into you again. catch like this and use your legs to push me over. So you go down, then come back up into the ground, like you're going to catch it. Right? So the ball's in the air now, and you just get underneath it like you're going to catch it, and then use your legs to go forward. So go down, then forget about me and forward back into your feet. Now the ball's in the air, you get everything. There you go.
Can you feel that?
Yeah. Oh yeah. My heels come up. And you won't feel me come up because you're moving ahead of me.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like you become the boat in front of the water skier. You don't feel the water skier.
Yeah.
After going around.
Yeah.
So, normally when we talk about following the opponent, we follow like a surfer in front of a wave. Right? So you go down, but this time you're going down, and then you just release and go into the ground. There. And catch me, and then use your legs. Make sure you use your legs, not your arms.
Okay.
So it's your legs, your hips. This is what projects me. Don't use your shoulders.
Okay.
So you go down into the ground. That's it. And then pour yourself. There you go. There. And now use your legs to move me. That's it. Yeah. There's a hip, so open up the lower back. You go like this.
And that's the funny thing.
Back. So you do this rotation. You know this rotation. You know this rotation. You can open up the back. Open them, but don't
push
do that.
your arms.
Unless you make yourself really solid and don't move your legs at all, and then you can go like that with your fingers.
Okay.
So you can, if you can keep this solid and rooted, then you just let your hands go like that. But just as long as you're not using force. So you go into the ground, then pour. There you go.
A lot of it is trying to stay mentally empty.
Right, yeah. Emptiness is the key. That's it. That's right. Yeah. Take your time to catch. If I start to land on you, if I start to come forward, take your time and just receive it,
Okay.
and see how far I can go before I
Don't be in a hurry to do it.
Right. Not in practice. Don't be in a hurry.
Bounce somehow.
That's it. Hold it. Shoulders down, elbows dropping. Extend your fingers. Raise hands. There.
No tension.
That's right. Yeah.
Can't get any tension.
Step up, raise hands. Yes. In Yang style, it's step up, raise hands. A lot of people don't differentiate between this and play guitar. They see they'll do step up and raise hands like play guitar, but play guitar is a different idea. But step up and raise hands is like this. Chen style will have a similar idea, right, where the energy goes like that and you catch it like that. So you have, and there are different versions of it within Chen style as well. You'll have down, up, like that. You'll have closing in, like that. So you'll come in and down like this, and then like that. So Chen style, I'll be across, in, like this, and then like that. Or grab the head, there. So a lot of people think of this as a pull, like maybe they're pulling the head. But in fact, it works better if you're actually doing tsai. You go in and then release it, and it just comes forward.
Do that again?
So I can pull and slam it, and then it's using my force against yours.
Yeah.
But it works better if I can go into the ground there, and then you just throw your head at my knee.
Yeah.
That
is such a subtle.
That was weird.
Yeah.
That's really interesting.
piece of pie. So from here, so there's this version of Chen style where you go in like this, and sorry, I didn't do it. All right, go in like this and then up.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so there's no pulling.
No.
I'm not pulling at all. You're chasing my hand.
Right.
So I go in and then up, boom, like that, and then. So it goes up like this and then in like this. Then there is this on here. And here where I go in like this and I'll go into the ground and then like that. So there's a little bit of, there's side and then pull, and then you do pull.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Or you grab my arms from here and I'll go like that.
Yeah.
And so there's this, and if you're pulling, you're grappling, you're not just trying to, you wouldn't just be holding me back.
No.
Right? You'd be fighting with me. So you'd be trying to control my spine. That's it.
Yeah.
Like that. That's different. So then it's like that. And if you come forward and you stay with me, you stay on my center, then this ends up being like that. Right?
Yeah.
So you end up being impaled.
Yeah.
And this becomes like this, and then this you land on the spikes.
Mm-hmm.
The other.
The more I tense up on you like that,
Yeah.
the more, you got me.
Right. Yeah. And so you get this idea of the literal, like this.
Yeah.
Or you get into the
Same thing.
yeah, where there's no effort at all, and you just couldn't help but fall on it.
Yeah.
So I just say, throw yourself on the sword, please, thank you. And that's again, it's that in and out. So from here, it's in here. Like that.
Is that like a side thing, or is that in? And then
There's a bit of side to side,
But the thing that makes it work is that and this is extra.
you take it down.
Right. That's the stuff I do after I win. The winning is caused by this. Side. Yeah, so I go there. So the plucking, or the gathering, is what causes the victory.
So what did you do? You just let it?
No, I did this.
You did the same thing?
Yeah, I did the same thing. So I went, oh, see? So you're following. And I'm not pulling, I'm not leaning, and it's not like you're leaning on this and I go like that, which is what it looks like.
Yeah.
People look at it and they go, oh, he's leaned on his hands, and then they just let him go.
Well, that's what it sort of feels like.
Yeah, that's because your pressure is there. That's where your mind is. Your mind is on this pressure.
Right.
Your mind is not on the compromising of your root.
I see.
Right? So, sure, this disappears and then you follow it, but that's not what makes you do it. What makes you do it is that.
Push down.
So you're just standing going like this, and it saves me a heck of a lot of time.
So you going down and
I go down and then I come back into my feet, and you come out of yours.
right.
Right? So what I'm doing, I go down like this, and then I just sit back, right, and let you do the rest of it. The mistake is when people go like this, and they think that they're making the other person do the rest of it, when you're not. The trick is to understand when your opponent is doing the work for you, and let them, and not think that you are making them do it. And there's this delusion that happens within Tai Chi and within martial arts where you think, oh, I used my Chi, and I used my energy, and you may actually feel as though that's what's happening, but it's not. And you're deluding yourself if you think that you are using your mystical energy to throw the person. Really what you're doing is thinking about it, but they're doing all the work themselves. And you can mess it up by trying to do it for them. And so I go, see, this is not me pulling your hand.
No.
Feeling you have to do
But I'll think I'm using my chi to move you off balance.
Yeah.
No, you were off balance already, and I just wait my arm over.
So when you're doing that and you're going right down and that, are you getting my thought process to go down that way and then you remove it and I'm lost?
Yes, but there are levels of conscious and subconscious thought that I'm intercepting. So
that's better.
every time there's a thought, there's an emotion. Every time there's an emotion, there's a physical response. And so by manipulating the physical response, I'm manipulating your emotions and your thoughts. And if you get really good, you can become aware of exactly what thoughts and emotions are and how on very subtle levels. And that's extremely helpful. This is why do meditation. This is why we try to understand our minds.
Right away.
But you can also
Down.
delude yourself into thinking that you're telepathic and manipulating the other person's mind. So, when really you're just letting them do what they would normally do. You're not controlling their mind. You're not taking their mind and going like this.
Right.
You're just going, do things taste salty to you? and suddenly you start thinking about saltiness.
Yeah.
That's not mind control.
No.
That's
Please, like
Hey, look.
like that.
Yeah.
like this is controlling your mind. What on earth could that be?
Yeah, for sure.
Down.
So here, trying to maneuver you and get you out of the ground and control like this is different from.
Yeah.
It's so much easier than people think. This is why Tai Chi is very easy to do, very difficult to correct, because people keep thinking that they have to be doing something.
Right.
And most of the time, it's the not doing that is where the victory is.
Actually, by effectively.
That is.
So trust me, women tend to be better at this Exactly. Yeah, they're better marksmen. They're better martial artists. Pound for pound, better fighters.
Yeah. How come that didn't work for you? I tried to do that today.
Well, that's because you weren't into my spine. Right. So you go down. You're hanging on me.
Yeah.
And if you're hanging on me, I'm not a meat hook.
Okay.
So if you hang on me and then let go, there you go. It came up a little bit, but because you're just hanging on me and letting go, it's different from going down like this and then like this. It's the difference between bouncing the ball and pumping a siphon. So a siphon hose is going to have a different feeling. So you have to actually go with your mind into my feet. Your mind goes into my feet, and then come up out of my feet, and there you go.
You moved.
That's right. I will follow your mind more than I will follow your body. And you have to have intent. There has to be something there. It's just like if I throw a punch at you, that's not going to be a problem for you.
No.
Because what I'm doing is just putting my fist out there in space. I'm not actually punching. And you won't respond. You won't do anything because there's no point and it won't be as effective. If I just throw my fist out there, right, you're not going to even move out of the way. You're not going to counter. You're not going to do anything. You're just going to say, oh, hand, thank you.
Right.
Right? But that's it. That's where the interaction ends. If I'm throwing a punch, it doesn't start with me going, I'm going to put my fist out there. It starts with me feeling my fist hit your face. That's where the punch begins. The punch begins with me feeling the impact and maybe seeing blood. Then I move. Right? I'm not going to throw a fist unless I know it's going to hit you, unless I can feel it, unless I'm confident that I'm going to do that. So if I see the difference, right? All I have to do is go fist and nose, and everything changes. Your body structure changes, your mind changes, right? Like this, so I go like this. Now the scenario has changed entirely. That is very different from me going like this, as opposed to that.
Right.
You know, things are changing, things are engaging, and you're sticking and following and neutralizing. So when you do this, when you go in, you have to go in with your mind as if you're going to drill right into the ground, as if you're going to go through your fingertips right down into the ground. There you go, right down into my feet, into the center of the earth, and then you just retreat there. Then I go with you. Right? And even if my body does not make a big change, even if I don't go bounce out, which is what you would get if you went for the sort of the exoteric, kind of bounce. I might get a physical response, but your mind will still be there.
It'll follow.
Yeah, if I do the physical bounce, if I go bounce, I go like a meat hook, like that, like I'm jumping on a meat hook or something like this, then your body will go like this, but your mind will still be there. Right, so you will not be uprooted as well.
Right.
But if I go into there energetically with your mind like this, and then I come out, then your mind goes.
Yeah.
And even if your body does not bounce as much, even if your physical body doesn't go like this, your mind will, and that's what matters. in this context, because that's what's going to uproot you.
Right.
Right? I can bounce you physically and make you go like this,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to be able to throw you off balance afterwards.
Right.
Because you're still structurally connected.
Yeah.
But if I go in with the intent into your feet, like this, and then come out again, then you're gone.
Yeah.
And you didn't even bounce.
No.
Right? You're like this, and you just, oh, I guess we're going over here. Right? You didn't even bounce up out of the ground.
Yeah.
So there's the physical trick. Right? There's the physical trick of going like this. That's one thing, right? But then there's the mental trick of doing that, which makes you go.
What did you just do there?
I used intent.
You used intent.
Right. I can use the physical trick where I bounce you and then push you,
Right.
but you're still connected.
Right.
Or I can use the energetic
Right.
and upset your mind.
So that's what you just did.
Yeah,
So-
if I use intent and I use the energetic intent, then that is going to affect your whole structure in a bunch of different ways.
Right.
It's not just going to make the whole thing bounce.
Right.
If I can compromise your intent, or if I can use intent to compromise the energetic structure, then what's going to happen is you're going to change
Yeah.
your mind.
Yes.
So the fight's changed entirely, all because I went, oh,
Yeah.
so
That's how you initiate with that.
that's right. Yeah. And people can't learn this right off the bat because they have to have some kind of root or some kind of structure. And they have to understand what it means to really feel what the person's center is. They have to have that kind of experience. They have to know how to connect to the fascia and the connective tissue. And they have to have some kind of sticking and following skill. You get people who are just learning technique. They're just, some grapplers can get it, but usually people who are learning, they're learning technique and they're focused on technique. I do this, I do this, I do this. They're not thinking about this level of structure. But once they do,
Yeah.
it's just weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very weird. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's way more fun than actually fighting.
It's unbelievable.
I feel like if you ever got into a real fight, it might almost seem ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, fighting is ridiculous in
But
itself.
I mean, like your reaction to it would be,
Yeah.
like you just feel like, okay, or whatever. Like it would be just so.
If you train in context, if
Yeah.
you train in that context, that's why we have to train. Push hands can be really unrealistic.
Yes.
Okay, you can like this, just pushing hands like this.
Yeah.
Right. But push hands can also become, it's on the center. Hey, if he's not neutralizing,
Yes.
right, I've got his head. Like that. But he sinks his shoulders, drops his elbows there. Now I don't have his head.
Right.
Now we understand the context. Right? It looks the same. People can do push hands and it can look like they're doing something realistic, but it's not.
Right.
But you can connect, right? And here, and it's realistic, but it's tense. But then as soon as somebody realizes, oh, geez. And once you get that idea, once you get that feeling, then it becomes much more realistic. And then we take this into long range. So you punch, it becomes like that.
Yeah.
And this is a deliberate cartoony kind of demonstration, but that's what it's like.
Yeah.
So if I throw a punch, you intercept the mind right away to relax, connect to the ground, connect to my feet, right, and then relax there.
It's kind of in a screwed up situation right here, but just doing.
But remembering the principles. Remember, that's why we practice the form, because it's not technique, it's about how you are. You have to be the particular way. Once you have that quality, that's kung fu. Now, having a bunch of technique, that's not kung fu. That's not martial skill. Having a bunch of things that, if he does this, I do this, if he does this, I do this. If he gets in here, I neutralize like this. And it says, but if you're not pouring the energy into the ground, it's not Tai Chi. Right? If you can pour the energy from whatever point of contact he's got and pour it into the ground, even without a strong, powerful stance, great flexibility, youth, the powerful hip wiggle stuff, without any of that stuff. If you have that connection, you're going to be able to win. This is how 75-year-old women half my size can kick my butt. This is how 8-year-old guy bounces me off the wall from 8 feet away. This is how you bounce me off the wall. Even though you're only 63.
And I don't know what I'm doing.
And this is how you do that to me. You know, when you did that earlier today, and you know, a couple hours ago we were talking about that, and we were talking about pouring that energy, and you did that. And I think you can't teach that to most martial artists because most martial artists are 12 years old. But you know, you can't teach it to most people because it's not part of their experience. Until you've actually spent the time, gotten to know your own mind, and this is the challenge for people, is you have to become aware of the part of your mind of which you are unaware, which means you have to work through your own crap. You have to work through a lot of mental and emotional and psychological stuff. That's why people who do Tai Chi sometimes appear to have mental illnesses.
Before or after?
Both. Yeah, because the process of working through your stuff is dangerous. You know, it's challenging. When you're working through,
I think it's beneficial.
oh, absolutely. In the long run, it's like vomiting. You know,
You're gonna feel good.
nobody likes to vomit, but you sure feel better after you've done it than you did when you felt like you needed to. So yeah, you work through the stuff. You have to become aware of tension that you're not aware of. You have to become aware of the part of your mind of which you're unaware. You have to find tension you didn't know you had and release it. And in the process, you'll find out, gee, I was holding that tension for a piece of it. Working through your crap is really challenging. People who do Vipassana meditation, insight meditation, they go in there thinking, oh, it'll be great to do a nice vacation and go have a nice retreat somewhere and relax and calm my mind. And then, they're sitting, listening to their breath for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And it becomes really, really challenging. You hold tension for a reason. You're balancing, but once you get down to the root cause of the problem, then you deal with it. Okay? We hold tension because we don't want to face our issues. And when we relax the tension, we discover the issues. But it's not like certain types of therapy where you have to relive the scenario that caused the problem. You just find the balance. And this is why martial arts is such great therapy and great biofeedback. There's very few things that are better feedback than martial arts.
Yeah.
You know, is my mind calm? Oh, apparently not. I didn't see that coming. Right, so from here, just use your mind. Go into my spine, go in there, that's it. Down there, that's it. And now let me go and go back into your own spine. There. See that? Now,
You're the only one who felt that.
I'm the only one who felt that. I am on my toes right now. But if you were to get underneath me and catch me, just go underneath. Don't push down, just go underneath. No, go around and get underneath and catch, like you're catching a ball. There, like that. Now use your legs and push me away. Okay. So when you're doing this, it's a big movement, right? So you go through, you go in there like that. Now then you come back out again. You release it. See, you don't feel it, but you feel how I'm still connected. Okay, I'm on my toes. Okay.
That's unreal.
Yeah. You will not feel it. That's the thing. Once you get better and better at it, you'll start to feel it. But you'll discover, you'll know what's happening based on what happened first. So when you do the first part of it, there, you know, now that you know when you go go back out again, but stay close to me. There you go, and get underneath me right away. Right away. No, don't go so much. Just go like this and create the structure that'll support me. It doesn't matter what part of me lands on you.
Okay.
So go again, go down, and then go back up and out and get underneath. No, don't push down. Get underneath me right away. Yeah. So you go here like this, and then you go just like that. See? I just have to be underneath, whether I'm here or here, here or here. Doesn't matter. So you go down, and then let me go and catch. There. Not too much movement. Just get right there. Then connect to my center again right away. There. That's it. So you connect to my center as quickly as you can. So if we're in a grappling like this, I go like that. It's like catch.
Yeah.
It's going to be instantaneous. So from here, you go down. that's it, and then you go back down in your feet and connect.
That's, yeah.
Try that with Jim. Here's the ultimate test. So,
The ultimate believer.
so do what you just did. So you go in with your fingers, and then go back and then engage the center right away. There.
I deliberately went cooperated, but yes, I certainly felt it. I was
Yeah.
I exaggerate what you really did.
Do again and try. Think about grappling. Think about trying to get control, and then you just do that as a response. There you go. Again.
I still cooperated, but it was real. It was
Be
real.
less cooperative. Yeah, that's it. That's the catch. So he's not cooperating. That doesn't mean that you're supposed. It's going to be harder. It's still going to be easy.
Operating it?
I can't tell when I'm cooperating or not. That's not working. What you're doing is definitely.
You can get something there?
No, Paul. What you're doing is working. He can't cooperate.
Don't cooperate. The thing is that you will cooperate even though you're trying not to. So try not to cooperate. And that's the whole point of this drill, is that the exercise is to make you cooperate. Okay? If he does this right, if he does this right, you will basically throw yourself.
I didn't want to do that. I got you. Exactly, right?
Just fall over there?
A little bit, yes.
Nice.
If you do it right, he will cooperate. He'll try not to cooperate, but he will. And then he'll say, oh, I did that. That's the whole point. He will do it. Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah. But it's still you that did it. Yeah, go on. So, there you go. He was not cooperating that time. Yeah, because he didn't know what I was going to do.
No, I thought you were going this way.
Yeah. So what I'm doing basically is going this way.
Can I move it to the side? No, stay.
No.
Okay.
So, can I punch? so into the ground. Yeah, so it's in and a release. Right? And because he wasn't here for it, he doesn't know exactly what the drill is, but he's got an idea. Right? But so from here, he doesn't really know what we're trying to do, so it's hard for him to cooperate.
I think you're bouncing, so I want to push.
Right, so the idea here is this is side. So I go into the ground, help you support yourself, and then I go away. And then you uproot yourself. So it's different from the bounce. It's different from going like that. Instead, it's I help you support yourself, and then I leave you alone. And that happens.
What do you mean by help you support myself?
Okay, you're supporting yourself means aligning your centers of gravity with your base of support. Right, so center means you want to have this aligned with this, aligned with this, so the gravity, the weight of each part of your body lines up with the center of the earth and goes straight down into the ground. That's balance. When I'm trying to upset your balance, I'm trying to move your center of gravity off your base of support. I might move this part off, I might move this part off, I might move this part off, I might do that to mess up your balance. Whatever it is, right, I'm going to try to compromise your alignment with your centers, with the center of the earth. So what I do here is I go in, like this, I pressure this one. And I just go in the ground and I help you. I push into the ground. It's like when we're doing a pushing drill and I push to uproot you, or I push to make you more solid. See the difference? Yes. So here I'm doing an extremely cooperative version where I'm pushing you into the ground, so I'm like, oh, he's so solid, he's so rooted, I can't move him. How is he doing? He's redirecting my force right into the ground. And then I come up over the ground. You go up. So what happens, it's like a cycle. Drop. You put the hose in,
I think throwing
and
towards.
then you line it up, and you fill it with water, and then you let the water go back and like that, just like draws water out.
What was that?
So that's essentially what I'm doing. I'm siphoning the energy out of your feet. So I go into the ground, and I pour
going, and the other one is pressure, sustained pressure.
That's right. Yeah. So balancing, go this way, I go this way, I go this way. This is, I just come up and you follow me. I'm not even, because the balance requires a certain amount of pressure and speed. Right? The balance is this is.
Because there's tension here.
Yes.
Isn't that tension?
Oh, yeah. There's no pressure. If you, I can bounce the basketball. The ball is on the ground. I bounce the ball. I can go like this. And I can bounce the ball.
Maybe I would learn
This is
from both
putting your hand
sides.
on the ball and then taking your hand off the ball.
Losing can be part
Slowly.
of kind of his learning.
Right? And so
Winning's
because you're not bouncing, because you're not creating this, you're not creating the pressure. You're releasing it. You're just going away.
yeah.
So that's why people try to do this and then they try to lift up and it doesn't work. They go in and then they try to pull. It's not straight because this depends on going in and then just leaving. Just driving away.
Before you said when I'm getting mine bounce, I'm trying to bounce, but if it's grappling, it'd be more like this. But still, I'm trying not to fall forward.
No, you wouldn't. If you're grappling, you'd be still trying to be upright. Right? You'd still be like this. Right? You want to get your back in, but you don't want to do this. Right? You want to get in and get your hips underneath.
Might want to, but I think in a grappling.
But that's because the other person's pulling you off, not because you want to. Okay. Right? So you want to get in like this. So here, see? Right? So we're in here like this. Right? We're in here like this. We're close.
You just did that.
Yeah.
You helped him root.
Yeah. And what moved you? That hand.
But I was actually.
I did this. Right? So we're here. I try to lift you up. I can't. I try to push you. I try to move. I try to.
Your hips too.
But
it was effortless. I got
yeah, it
it.
was effortless. It was this much pressure.
I didn't use
You
any.
know? So it's once the person's up, then it's just which way do they go? You know?
To me, it felt like it was that.
The ball's up in the air. Which way do you hit it?
A lot of muscles.
That's all.
Yeah.
Right? But the victory is here when the ball is in the air.
You're going, okay, here's the resistance. Things right around it, so I go around that resistance and then go, then the palms are.
I'm getting it at all in head.
I'm
I'm not as good at it as him.
I think what's happening is I'm coming back up. Come back about 2 inches in the air, and now you're trying to push me in that slowly. Whereas it's coming back, start applying that side pressure. Because it feels like there's too much of a pause in between.
You might be able to get enough slower where you just go straight.
Yeah, more like it.
Yeah.
You were still a bit jerky, but
There's this idea here. If I go in and then up and back, and then you're starting to land again, and I try to push you, it's different.
That was the hips.
I go down, and then I come up, and then I get
Which
underneath.
are used by hips, and you get really.
And it's still underneath. I can take all the time I want. As long as I know if you do this, if you do that, it's full. Yeah, releasing you and that, trying to push you back down. So if you go into the ground, yeah, so more in, and then you go back up and out, and your feet go down, and your feet there, and catching you. Don't hang on. The difference is not what you do, how you move your hand, where you move your hands, it's how you make it feel. The difference is how you think of them. And so if you think of your hands as being on top of me and having to go around and get underneath, then you won't get underneath.
Okay.
But if you think of your hands as already being underneath, then the structure changes. So you go into the feet like that, and then you go back into yours. Now there you go. See? Now you're underneath, and that will bounce me away. That's really wild. Actually, that's really, so that's the difference in the feeling. So you go in, right, and then as soon as you pour yourself in there, you get there. That's it. Yeah. So try that.
good.
Stop.
Yeah, you have to give you your own medicine. It feels amateurish compared to him.
Well, yeah. Too segregated, it doesn't
Yes.
flow like the way it
Exactly,
flows.
yes. But, are you getting it? Yes.
He's trying to find it.
If you do it every 3.4 seconds, you might catch on. The only way to neutralize him is to move at right angles. So if he's going down, you can go sideways. Anywhere allow the plane. Going forward or backwards or rooting or trying to do anything else is going to compromise it.
So after I let it go and let it come back.
Before you engage, as soon as you start to do this, as soon as you start to feel the pressure going down, yeah, you need to move it right angles to it. Right, so the guy's trying to push into your root, don't let him. Even though it's helping, even though you're bracing, you can do it yourself. If you were trying something else, you try to get him to redirect into the ground. But because he's doing it on purpose, you don't let him do it. So if this is what we were talking about before, but you know, if I push down into your center, then that's going to happen. But if you try to push me,
Push down?
push me backwards. There, and I connect here, and I push down into I use you to push down into my center. Now you have pressure down into my center, into my root. So now you're pushing down into my feet. And I want you to do that. And if you push me here, you're pushing my center backwards. But if I do this, and I push you backwards, now you're pushing into my feet. I've redirected that pressure. So I want to redirect your pressure into my feet. Right? If we're grappling and you're trying to pick me up, you can get in and try to lift me like that, and I get underneath you like this, and I'm redirecting your energy into my feet. So you're making me more solid by trying to lift me up.
Okay.
It's like putting your foot on the door and pulling on the door. It's the cartoons. And so I will do this, a brace, in order to make that happen. I shouldn't. It's an imperfect strategy, but grapplers do it all the time. And non-grapplers do it all the time when they're grappling. But what I should be doing is, as you come in like this, if I brace upwards, I should be moving at right angles.
Oh, yeah.
And neutralizing it so that your downward pressure into my feet doesn't work. It doesn't work for you, and it doesn't work for me.
Great.
Right, so that's what I should be doing. So if you push down into my feet, I move at right angles to it,
Yeah.
like that.
As soon as I did it, you did that.
That's right. Yeah. So if you try to engage my spine, there, like that. And so this is why this works as a thought process, not as a physical effort. If you're trying to do a physical bounce, it's going to you're going to run into trouble as soon as you meet somebody who has this skill. And so if you try to push down into my center, you're going to do that. I'm going to move right angles. But if you think about pushing down into my center, like that, and you engage and you go right down into my center, there you go, and I start to neutralize, now you go back out again, there, now it works.
That made you move.
That made me move. Right, so from here, if I try to push down and I use force, then you will be able to neutralize force. You can neutralize force, no problem. You just move at right angles to it. So I push down, you move at right angles to the force. But if I use chi, this mythical non-existent cheat. But if I use it, sure it doesn't exist, but if I use it, it works really well. So I go down, there. And you can't neutralize that because it's not a physical action, it's only a thought. But it's real intent. It's real intent. Right? I have to go, yeah. And then that's right. It is another level. It's from here, I go down and here, and then up your mind like that. So from here, if I use a physical force, I push down, you move at right angles to, as I push down, you neutralize my downward pressure. That happens. But if I use thought, and you neutralize my downward pressure,
or somewhat response.
it doesn't work because there is no downward pressure. So I use intent, I project chi, but I can't just go, like that. It has to be agreement. So you make yourself solid. I can't push you, I can't push you, I can't do that. But I go, oh, now I can. Okay? So the thought goes, what does the thought say? So now, this technique, okay, becomes equality. Okay? So tai, just like pung, is equality, and it permeates everything. You can think of pung as a technique, but it becomes equality, so you have pung ching through the whole form. Well, you can have a tai ching all through the form. So tai is this plucking, this gathering. So you can have this energy through the whole form, so the other person should never be able to put their feet grounded. If you have this quality, if you have it down, then what's going to happen is that your opponents will always be out of the ground. They'll always be. I was waiting. What am I? Just push me already. Right? So it's not something you do, right? Because you went from being a physical action, it went from being physically going into the ground and then out again, to being the intent to go in and then out again, to being the idea of the intent. Right? So now it's just this energetic quality, this characteristic. Right? So now I just have to have that, and you can't get the ground.
I couldn't get my feet forward. Didn't get my weight forward, you said.
That's right. So you make yourself solid, okay? And I, push you around. I try to do this. I can't. You're solid. You're rooted. You're connected. But if I have tai chi, then that uproots you. That gathers you up. So then it becomes not just a thing and a response. It becomes a quality that causes you to be uprooted. And it's like the wind coming. It's like the wind over a propeller. Right? It's going to cause the propeller to move. Right? So once you have that energy going, once you have that characteristic, then the wind is, the kite is going to be airborne because the wind is always blowing.
The wind was always on my heels.
Yeah.
Heels.
Yeah, and it's just like, the wind blows over the sheet of paper and the paper is like this. And as long as the wind continues to blow, that's going to happen. So you're taking a technique and you're refining it and making it a quality, and then it becomes like a shape. And once you have that, then that keeps the other person uprooted. You can combine that with other energies. So you can combine it with pang and yu, so you can have all of these different qualities, and then the other person just can't do anything. So that's real martial arts.
Now, you continually apply it, did that because I couldn't get back.
That's right. It's not like I'm doing this, right? I'm not going in and out, in and out, in and out. I'm not bouncing. I'm not going like this. I just have that energetic quality, and you can't get up again. You can't get your feet again. Right? So
If I move my feet, I would.
if you remove your feet, you would, and then I do something. But part of the goal is for me is to make you move your feet, so that I can get you in a different angle. Right? And then, now of course, doing this in mid-range is great because this is the most challenging range and the most dangerous range. And if you can master mid-range, then you'll be able to fight in a way that other people just hate. People don't like to be here. They like to be back here, throwing bombs at you, or they like to be in really close where they can defend against your strikes and protect themselves. People don't like to be out here because this is where all the elbows and the strikes and the joint locks and the finger breaking and all that stuff happens. Right? So people don't like to be here. And you just go, it's flailing and dangerous. But the problem is that if we do Tai Chi and you do push hands and all you do is mid-range stuff, and then you get out here and you think you're fine. And then I've seen it happen to people. Yeah, where you're going, and then the guy backs up and I go, we've broken contact. And no, we haven't broken contact. He's just winding up, that's all. So you have to, you need to be aware that there are other ranges as well, which is why we practice those. Right? So from here, see, relax.
I'm concentrating on
That's right, good. And that's good. Now, feel where my center is.
Right there.
Yeah, but just feel it. Just feel it connected. Think about going down into my spine. Don't push. Just think about going down into my spine. There we go. There. The dynamic has changed entirely right now.
No effect. I see what you're saying. I don't.
Yeah, you don't see it, but the dynamic has changed entirely because your mind is now in here in my center. So if I move, you're going to be going in that direction. Without any increase in pressure, without anything, you're going to be on my center. So if I do not stay here, then the next move is going to have you into my center. I'm aware of that. I can feel that because I can feel your mind thinking about my center. I can feel that pressure. Right? Which means that then now, if you go back into your spine, there, that uproots me.
Well, then you tell them
so
everybody at the same time.
this is the level of mind that we're talking about.
Always have 8 because
That's no pressure.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
you put me over that better.
But the entertainment value here is the frustration that people experience when they go, there's no pressure. But what is happening? There's got to be something happening. How could you do it?
You know, visually this don't go.
Chi. I used my chi. Yeah, and the funny thing is that will work for some people. Yeah, and to a degree, there is chi. Right? But if you want to explain what's really happening, you have to be able to define it in terms of Newtonian physics. Yeah, in Newtonian mechanics. That's the only way to explain it. You can try explaining it in terms of quantum mechanics, but that doesn't work for people. It's
You don't do it mathematically, do it.
yeah, there's a long explanation, but it's not that useful. But you want to be able to explain it in terms of Newtonian mechanics. But when we're teaching it, when we're explaining it, I'm using my chi.
You waited for me to let go, right?
I waited for you to try it.
You're
I waited for you to try it, and then I did it back to you again. So I timed it. It's like when if you're squeezing in, okay, and you keep the pressure on one side exactly the same as you release the other side. So release one side. There. Okay? That's fine. Now do that again.
She went like 5 feet back and then straight.
So from here, you can keep that pressure. Now I can release it as well. And I've got you. So when we're the same idea, if you're here, you're going into my center, well, I can go into yours too. And then you release me, you go back into yours, I follow you, and then I go back into mine. So if I'm conscious of it, if I'm aware of it, then I can mirror what you're doing. So you go into my feet, I go into my feet.
See where his elbow is? Put your fist there.
Rather than bracing against it, I'm making that double weight. So you go into my feet, I go into my feet with you. And then when you go back into your feet, I just release it into your feet and do that. So you go into my feet, I go into my feet with you, and then you go back into your feet, I follow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. When you go into your feet, and you say, when he goes back into his feet, what does that mean? He's getting up on
Yes.
That's what the technique is, that's what the size is, that's the siphon.
Like you reverse it.
Yeah, okay, so
Yeah.
basically, I put the water into the straw,
So it went from like a step.
and then I pour the water back into the bucket.
And then I just went.
So,
Yeah,
you
shove
put the hose in,
Drill
blow it
it.
on the water,
Yeah.
and then let the water drain back into
No.
it.
And there's
So
when they
that's
start, that's held here.
Yeah,
this.
right.
So what happens is, if you do that to me,
lazy.
So I guess it's like you slide it through that, and you put this boom
No.
with the hip into it. And
so think about going, yeah, there you go, that's it, you go down to my feet, I go in with you, now you go back into your
Like
feet.
you mentioned that, and then I'm like,
At the end, you go back. As you go in, and then you go watch the question.
yeah.
And then I go
once you
in,
got there, you
and then I go back.
Yeah.
That's it.
That.
It's not that.
But
It's just-
before I'm there,
and I
you
forget about you. I'm not
Yeah.
interested. Not interested.
And then you just
There you go. Now I know it's my feet. And if you keep going, then you're solid. You can catch me.
Or you
This is just to make sure you go.
Are you sure you want to do this? No.
We don't really want to do this.
And walk out and catch me. No, don't push me. Go down, back, and catch. No, you're doing this. Okay? You're talking about going in and then here. Catch. Right. So in. So go back into your own feet. Leave me alone. There. No, don't push me. Just go back into your own feet. There you go. And leave me alone. There you go. Now, if you get underneath me, no, don't pull. Just get underneath. Be a lamp stand. And no, lamp stand. Catch him. Just stand. That's it. That's the next step. So you go into my feet. Then you go back and become a table. Become a table. There you go. There. Now, the table is on wheels. Use your legs. That'll do.
That's it.
Yeah, but you could have just gone like that. So I go in, and then I become a table, and then.
So there's an in-between stage there, being on the table, it's all done on the curve, I guess, as opposed to no space in between. It's not bounce and push, it's bounce, find that neutral point, and then direct it.
It's go in, make him think about his feet and how solid he is and how much pressure he's got on his feet. And then you go back into your own feet and leave him alone. Become a table again. And don't worry about him. Maybe he'll come out and he'll land on you, maybe he won't. But you go in and then you come out and you leave him alone. And you just become a solid structure. And maybe he'll come out and he'll land on you. Right? Maybe the frog comes out and lands on the table. But maybe it doesn't. But you cannot be concerned with that while you're doing it. You put the water into the hose and then you let it drain out. Right? You don't do anything else. Once the water is pouring out of the hose, your job with the siphon is finished. Okay? Have you ever used a siphon? No?
You know what we're talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So you have water here, you put a hose in it, and the water only comes up to here. If you can get that water out this far, then just below this, then the water will drain out of that bucket and it will go out through that hose. But you need that gravity from that to create that suction. So what we're doing is we are putting the straw in there like this and nice and far, and then we're bringing it out again. And if you watch in farms you can do it if the water is here and you just have to get it over there, really all you need to do is just push the thing and fill it up with water. So you don't need to blow on it or do anything like this. You just have the hose and you shake it around in the water a few times until some of the water gets up over the hump and then it starts flowing out and then that does the work for you. And so that's basically what we're doing. We're just sort of putting the hose in there and then bringing it back out again and then letting the water pour down. If you try to lift it up, it's not going to work. If you try to shake it out, you'll get air in the hose, it won't work. So you go in and then like that. So this is why the technique is this is the beauty of Tai Chi. You know, this is a martial art. That's a deadly technique, followed by the coup de grace. Yeah, that's the idea, right? So, now here, this is in, out, down, boom, boom. Right? And the, from here, in a grappling situation, fighting, okay? So it's just that. There you go. That's it. So, I dip the fingers right into the clavicle, right there, pressure point right there if I want, or the trachea. Right, so there's all these striking points, eyes, and I can do all that stuff so that I can damage him while I'm uprooting him. so he'll have some souvenirs after I throw him. Right? But really the technique is to go into his feet, and out of his feet, like that, catch him. Then pull down, hold his hand, hit him with a knee, and then an elbow, and then a shoulder, and then one crane spreads wings. And any variation along that line. Right? So if we're here, we're grappling, if I go, up, raise hands, I have to stop so I don't hurt him for the next part, and then be able to survive for the next part, and then knee, elbow, shoulder, two fangs, great physics. So you grab my wrists, you're here, I'm fighting. That's it. That's it. And it doesn't look like a martial art. It's not supposed to. Yeah. Martial arts, people think they're about fighting. When in fact, martial arts are about the other guy fighting, me not fighting. From here I can fire, all that stuff, or we go. I had you, didn't it? Yeah. Had him right where you want to be.
At that point right there, you had him.
So the idea of relaxing and letting stuff just sort of happen, look, it's crazy. That people will put so much effort into trying to win, and really they're only fighting themselves. So, but if you there you go. There you go. See how much more relaxed he is than he used to be? Yeah. Like this stuff one of us would have been hurt. And that stuff would have got you before. And now it's this, get this out of the way, go here, trap, like that. When really all you have to do is just like, center.
Clown face.
Then center, look, there's an arm. Oh, forget about the arm, let's just find his mind. As soon as you take care of that knee. So what's the technique here? It's sorry, I thought you were farther away.
Can't help it. No.
So the hardest thing is to get people to realize that all this stuff, that stuff, that's fine. But if it doesn't have root, if it doesn't have an understanding of these basic energies, you better hope the other person's as bad as you are. You better hope that the other person has the same kind of tension and attachment to technique that you do, or else you won't have a chance.
That brings up a good question. A person coming in with a pattern.
Yep.
Am I going to be faster if I just relax?
Well, let's find out. Jim wants to test it.
I want to see this guy.
Jim, I remember the first time Jim said, what does it really feel like to get hit there?